Good morning, humble practitioners. It's Lynn, Shuck, and I'm here again with our humble practice. It's been a little while. I was having technical difficulties, but we are back today. And we're going to actually return back to something we were working with at the very beginning, which is observing the breath. A very simple practice we're going to add to that. I would suggest sitting either in a chair so that you sit forward a little bit and press down through your feet, so you're sitting up tall. You can also sit against a wall like I am. I am sitting cross-legged on a blanket. You could have your feet flat on the floor, knees bent, sort of in a modified squat. You can also do this lying down. I don't recommend doing this standing for right now. So all I want you to start by doing is you can close your eyes if you wish. I want you to start noticing your breath. Don't try and control your breath. But even just noticing your breath, it will probably deepen a little and change. And as you sit here and let the breath sort of settle and let yourself notice your breath, what I'm asking you to notice is the length of the parts of your breath. When you inhale and when you exhale, as you continue to breathe, do you notice that one part of the breath is longer than the other? Don't change it if you notice it, just notice. And continue to breathe. And now I want you to notice one other aspect of your breath. Do you pause? Sometimes we pause at the end of an inhale or at the end of an exhale. Some people pause often, some people never pause. And some people it just happens once in a while. But if you do notice that you're pausing, do you pause after the inhale more, after the exhale? Does it change up? So now that you've been sitting here just for maybe a minute or so, watching your own breathing, I want you to start to direct the breath. So if you noticed that you had pauses, I want you to remove all the pausing from your breathing. So I want you to make your breath go into a nice continuous arc where the inhale just finishes and then the exhale begins, and then the exhale just finishes and the inhale begins, and you no longer pause at all. And notice how creating that continuous loop of breath changes your breath. For some of you, that might be a little uncomfortable. Stay with it and just let your breathing settle into this new pattern where there's no pauses. And then going back to the length of the breath as we continue this continuous loop of breathing, if you've discovered that your breath is uneven and one part of your breath is longer and one part is shorter, can you lengthen the shorter part? Can you start to make the parts of your breath matched in length? So not only does the inhale flow directly into the exhale, directly into the inhale, the inhales and the exhales become more like each other in length. And you probably are noticing that your breath all on its own has become a bit deeper, a bit slower. Notice if there's tension in your emotions or your thoughts as you create this breathing. Whenever we create change, whether it's in something like the breath or even in the body, there's usually a level of resistance. Sometimes it's a strong resistance. I hate this. This makes me agitated. Sometimes it's just, that's kind of weird, and we go back to our normal. But for now, we're going to find this new normal where the breath is continuous and the inhales and exhales are matched in length. And you can do this for several minutes on your own. But right now, we're going to stop and then let the breathing relax to its normal pattern. And what you may notice is your breath changed. The same way we do a pose and then stand and notice if our feet changed or if we're standing differently. If you direct the breath in a particular pattern and then you stop directing the breath will probably change because of it. There will be an impact. So that's today's humble practice. I hope you enjoy it. And go and play with your breath. See you next week.